What is going on, Lancers? Welcome back to the Style of Gaming, and welcome to another edition of my Anthem Masterwork weapon reviews. In this video, I'm breaking down the Masterwork shotgun Rolling Carnage, a tactical pump designed for the Interceptor class outright. Thank you to everyone who has shown the channel support. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and let's break down this potentially amazing shotgun. When you look at Rolling Carnage, this thing probably is one of the most wild-looking weapons in Anthem. I think the aspect BioWare got right about the Masterwork shotguns is their visual continuity. Radiant Fortress is the obvious standout, but the symbol work across each weapon is consistent. But Pop-A-Pump and Rolling Carnage share a distinct visual style, however, Rolling Carnage cranks it up to 11. I've stated numerous times before, even without a complicated lore scheme behind these patterns, I love the use of the crimson and black triangles across the wrap and on the barrel, as well as under the scope. These symbols seem to be indicative of the Lancer's coat of arms. I love the orange lines directly on the metal under the wrap, but the crimson-coated black shapes on the stock is a great complement to the purple pump action grip and the line work on the actual hand grip near the trigger. This weapon looks like something that erupted from a cataclysm, leaving digital scars across the body. This weapon is busy and beautiful, but sadly, because of Anthem's poor treatment of shotguns, this weapon definitely disappoints. Rolling Carnage is a Vengeance-style masterwork, meaning it's the fastest-firing variations of shotguns in Anthem, firing 2 impact slugs at a time to maximize speed and damage. The base damage stat states it does 221 damage and has a magazine size of 6, automatically marking one of its most notable drawbacks. My experience with Rolling Carnage, like the rest of the shotguns, left me excited for the future but currently dissatisfied. Rolling Carnage has one of the better ranges for shotguns comparing to the God shotgun Pop-A-Pump and the trash bucket Radiant Fortress. Rolling Carnage has one of the slowest reload speeds of all the shotguns in the game, and while it maintains loading 2 slugs in each animation, the initial reload animation feels like a Colossus waiting for the autocannon to spin. It's time-consuming and has gotten me heavily damaged plenty of times. On top of that, as we know, the damage monikers in Anthem don't really mean anything and isn't really indicative of the actual damage this weapon puts out. It delivers a range of 300 to 1200 damage per double shot, but the higher tier damage is a result of its Masterwork perk, which we will get into in a minute. This isn't directly terrible, but it's not enough to even take down shields in Grandmaster 2, let alone remotely damage armored enemies. As you'll see in the footage, Outlaw Shotgunners shred my Lancer before it takes the whole mag to kill just one. That's a problem to me, especially considering that the Rolling Carnage I use is legendary, with a inscription of weapon damage 150%. I shouldn't be shredded by lowly enemies while doing so little damage that it takes 2 reload sessions to finish off a single enemy, not even the mob. The hip fire is absolutely dismal on this thing, and actually stands to be one of the most inaccurate shotguns of the lot. The gun itself, for the most part, feels good, but it sounds incredible. However, it has one of the more wild recoils, and it will take you some time to get used to being able to flip around, snap, and fire accurately. Again, it's going to take a lot to dethrone Pop-A-Pump as the best shotgun in the game, but all the negatives aside, I'd use this weapon if it output damage as it should. I should annihilate base enemies at point blank, and that's just absolutely not the case. But that's just an Anthem problem, not directly Rolling Carnage. As I've stated before, a weapon can gain redemption if it's fun, and Rolling Carnage is a blast, especially when you consider its Masterwork perk. Scout's Advantage states dashing increases weapon damage by 50% for 20 seconds and can stack 3 times. So automatically, Lancers, this weapon is out for the count with the Colossus, which is okay considering how many exclusive weapons it has already, so you will see viability with every other Javelin that can dash, but you're already thinking what I'm thinking. This is an Interceptor weapon, hands down. I had a blast playing both the Ranger and the Interceptor, but you basically will never lose the proc of the Scout's Advantage as the Interceptor, considering it has a natural 3-time dash built in. As previously mentioned, when you get the ability proc, you'll see this weapon output considerably more damage, but sadly, it's not enough to even be considered viable in GM2 or above. It has its moments where it will finish an enemy, but could never function as a primary weapon. It's ultimately just too weak compared to the array of great weapons available in the game, but as I said, when you're playing this gun, it forces movement for that proc, so you'll see a level of movement and mechanics you may have never engaged in before, which makes the style and form you deliver much different than other weapons. You really have to move when playing this, and I greatly appreciate that. I had a ton of fun dashing through the battlefield, which filled me with joy, only to be immediately replaced by disdain when I basically did no damage on arriving at an enemy. All in all, Rolling Carnage is a great tier 3 weapon viable for Grandmaster 1 and below. It's fun, bouncy, and will have you surveying and jetting through the battlefield in ways you normally won't while engaging in gunplay. It fires fast, reloads slow, and with a magazine size of 6 at its base, this is one of those weapons you will need to have a custom loadout for to really benefit and support this gun. I'm still holding my breath for a universal increase in damage for LMGs and shotguns to make them more viable in later tiers of play, but as it stands, you're making a direct decision for a less than average weapon when you consider rolling Carnage in your arsenal. But I can't shake the feeling of how much I enjoyed playing it, even when it caused me to die. Thank you, Lancers, for watching. I'll see you in the world of Bastion, and back here for another Anthem Masterwork review from the Style of Gaming. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and I'll see you then.